Hello everyone and welcome to your stretch class. It is day 2 of Sweatmas. If you missed the live yesterday, that's totally okay. It is going to be saved on my feed. So if you want a full body workout, feel free to head on over and check that out. But with that said, make sure that you've got a little bit of space, maybe a soft surface underneath you, and we'll get started. Start at the top of our mats today with a big neck roll all the way in a circle. Nice and slow. Releasing all the tension, all the energy that's built up in the neck. Start rolling the head in the opposite direction. Start clearing your mind, bringing attention to the body, letting go of any unwanted thoughts. Return the head to center and nod your head yes. As you nod, start to think about what you want to get out of today's stretch. If there's any particular areas that you want to focus on, feel free to hold those stretches for a little bit longer. And shake your head no, side to side. Saying no to negativity, toxicity, self-doubt. Good. And finally, we'll tilt our head. Almost like if we were confused. Tilt and tilt. Good. We're going to go ahead and start rolling the shoulders back. Nice and slow, creating lots of tension in the upper part of the shoulder, and then releasing it all the way down. Lovely. Start to roll those shoulders forward. And last one. Awesome. Take those hands and reach them slowly high to the sky. Feel your shoulder and your rib cage start to open. Reach as high as you can. Reach for the stars, reach for the sky. And swan dive all the way down to a tabletop position. If we want, we can hold here with some straight legs or soften those knees for a little bit of an easier time on the back and hamstrings. Take a couple more seconds here. Deep breath in. And as you slowly exhale, release that spine into its natural curvature as you release forward fold. Deep breath in. Slow exhale out. If you haven't yet, soften those knees and start walking your hands all the way forward, finding a plank position. Holding here for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend those elbows nice and softly. Press that stomach into the ground. Press your hips into the ground. Hands are right next to your chest. Elbows are tucked tightly close to the torso. Slowly push all the way up into a cobra pose. If this feels a little bit too strong on the body, feeling free to bend those elbows and coming into a baby cobra. Big inhale in. Slow exhale out. Do it again, big inhale in. And as you exhale, release that chest all the way back to your mat. Taking a couple seconds here, once again, pressing our bodies into the floor, Taking notice in how it feels to have our quads touch our mat, touch the floor, our hands be connected to the earth. Peel yourself right off that mat and send the hips back for a child's pose. Reach the arms all the way forward. To make this a little bit easier, on the hips, feel free to bring those knees in, and to make it a little bit stronger on the hips, open those knees wide. Big inhale in, slow exhale out. Sink deeper into your mat. We're going to take our hands and reach them all the way to the right, stretching out just one side of the spine. We're taking today to stretch after a harsh week. The day that this is going up is a Sunday. Sundays can be our day of restoration, of reset, preparation for the remainder of the week that's ahead of us. Swing those hands through the center and reach them the opposite way. Relax your neck here. And take the hands all the way back to the center. Option to hold it here for a couple more seconds, or press up with those hips, sliding the hands up on your mat and giving your shoulders a deeper stretch. Returning back to that original child's pose, setting the hips all the way back. We're going to take one arm and thread it all the way through, stretching out your shoulder, the sides of your back, your chest. Bring your hands back to center and switch opposite side. Thread the opposite arm through. Feeling free to press or release with the tension created in that shoulder. You can even vary between these, scrunching up that muscle, tensing it up, and then releasing it. Coming all the way back to the center. Those arms reach forward for one final stretch. And we're going to go ahead and extend the knees just a bit, finding a tabletop position. Once here, we're going to go ahead and concave the spine. Arch your back. Look up at the sky if you can. And pretend like you've gone punched in your tummy, concave, convex your spine in. Really pressing through those hands, elevate those shoulders, and find your way back to a neutral spine. We're going to take one leg here and extend it all the way back. It can be right in line with your hips. It can be a bit further up. Whatever feels comfortable today. We're going to go ahead and flex our foot here, reaching those toes to the tops of your shin. And point your foot, stretch out that calf. Do it again, flex here, and point. One more, flex, and point. Good. Bring that leg back to center. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Pressing one leg to the back, really engaging your glutes. Flex, and point. Keeping that neck in line with your spine, flex, and point. Last one, flex and point. Release that knee back to your mat. Great work. All right, up next, we're gonna take one of our legs and extend it all the way to the side, pressing the side of your foot into the ground. We can hold it here or slowly inch that foot outward for a deeper inner thigh stretch. Shifting your hands accordingly up until you feel a nice tug on this inner part of your thigh. Couple seconds here, big inhale in, long exhale out. Awesome. Slowly retract that leg all the way back to your tabletop, and we'll switch other side. Extend that leg out, directly to the side of you, holding it here, feeling that hip open up, pressing your foot into the ground. And option to slowly slide it out. Hands move accordingly, deepening up our inner thigh stretch. Returning back to center, slowly but surely, you're finding your tabletop once again, and then sitting on your heels. Taking a quick second here to stretch out our wrists. We were on our hands a lot just now. Press your hands into your mat. Wrists are facing away from you, fingers towards your body. Flip them over, tops of your hands on your mat. Wrists are still away from the body. Great. We're going to stretch out our arms and chest just right quick, clasping those hands behind the back, pressing down, opening up the spine. Option, hold it here or release that chest all the way to your mat, bringing those hands high and furthering that shoulder stretch. This also gives the front part of your hip flexors a nice stretch. And if you're pointing your feet, it can give the tops of your feet and ankles a nice stretch. Slowly retracting back, pretending like we're being pulled by a string, all the way to that sit-up position. Placing the hands on the tops of the thighs, we're going to slowly lean back here. Once again, pressing those shins into the ground. Starting to feel a nice pull on the tops of the quads. If we want, we can support ourselves by putting those hands back. If we want to deepen the stretch, place those hands back and lift with the hips. Trying to tuck your pelvis into your torso. Slowly release those hips back down. Bring that chest right back to its original upright position. We're going to take those arms and give the space around us a big hug. Palms are facing forward and arms are reaching back. Do the opposite real quick and hug yourself, one arm and on top of the other. Feel free to push out of those shoulders for a deeper stretch here. Pressing them down, pressing them away from your body. Take note of which arm is on top before we switch. Open up those arms. Press them nice and reach them to the back. Over, cross, opposite arm on top. Big hug to yourself, lifting out of the shoulders if that feels comfortable. Releasing that, bringing your hands down to your mat. We're going to tuck the toes all the way down onto our mat and release those knees, stretching all the way up, forward fold. Find your toes once again, walking the hands back. We're going to take one heel and lift it off the ground, pressing your arch forward. Arms still are reaching all the way down, and you're going to switch other side. Switch. Nice and slow switch. And switch. 2 more. Good. Slowly walk your hands all the way forward and bring one leg with you. Trying our best to keep both of the legs straight, but finding comfort in a bent knee. Bend the leg, bend the knee that's forward, and send that foot all the way back. Bring the opposite leg forward, keeping that knee bent, and then stretching it all the way back. Finding comfort in a bent knee. Bring that foot all the way back. We're going to do this one more time. Bring that original foot all the way forward, nice and bent knee. Straightening that out. Bringing it back to a bend. And straightening it back out. From here, we're going to place the same side hand on your mat. Other hand comes to your chest, working with your balance here. I want you to open up those hips. Your back leg is free to turn out if it wants to. Place that hand back down. And switch opposite side. Bent knee comes forward. Same hand stays on your mat. Opening up the hips. Twist out. And in. Out. And in. Hand comes back to your mat. Press that foot all the way back. Feel free to find a downward dog here before we roll it back all the way up. Sending those heels down to your mat. Pressing the toes into the earth. Go ahead and walk those hands all the way back to your feet. We're bending the knees, slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Last thing to come up is your head. Awesome. We're going to come into a couple final stretches here. Find a nice big wide stance. Turn out those feet and sink deep into a sumo squat position. We're pressing out with those legs. Trying our best to keep the chest upright, tucking in the hips. Option to extend the arms all the way to the side and sink just a bit deeper. We're taking a big inhale in and long exhale right back down. Slowly stretch up those legs. Shift your weight over to one side and reach those arms long. Try not to collapse the body. Stretching out the side, the obliques. Slowly returning to center. Bending the knees. Slow stretch up. Reach opposite side. And back to center. We're going to take one arm, have it lead us all the way down to the mat, twisting that torso open. Feel free to press back with this arm. Once more, opening up the chest. Slowly take a switch here, opposite hand down. The other hand reaches up, little windmill. We're still pressing back with those knees. And both hands come to the center. We're going to slowly stretch those knees. If this feels uncomfortable on your knees, Feel free to turn in those feet. Bring your toes to face forward. Once again, sit into your sumo position. Come to heart center and stretch all the way up. We're going to turn in the feet and finish off today's stretch with 3 deep breaths. Very first one here, big inhale. Big exhale. Do it again, really reach those arms, take up space. Inhale. Exhale. Last one here, biggest breath of the day, huge inhale. Hold it at the top. Thank yourself for attending this stretch class and doing something nice to yourself. And continue to do sweat mitts tomorrow. Long exhale. Wonderful, wonderful work, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's class, and I will see you tomorrow.